Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdul Kareem, and today we're going to be talking about something to give a little perspective. It's not like a normal video that I'm going to make. So what we're talking about today is animals that people find very easy to go to kind of support. They say, oh, save the whales or save the polar bears. You know, that they say that these things are endangered species, and they are. They're in a great deal of trouble, and if we don't do something, these animals, these beautiful, wonderful creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could be in deep trouble. But I'm going to tell you of an animal that is not so publicly made aware of, something that people don't like to show their support of because it's not what they call brand name sexy. Not like physically, you know, sexual sexy, but what I mean is that it's not sexy to support these things. If you go up on stage and say, I want to support phytoplancton, and people look at you like, this guy's an idiot, what was he saying? You know, just throw him off stage, they'll boo. And the thing is that the things and creatures in our world that support life the most are given the least acknowledgement by the rest of humanity. They're given hardly any acknowledgement. And something we need to understand is that the air that we breathe, the oxygen that goes in our lungs, that allows us to function. You know, people focus so much on water. You know, we could go 3 days without water, you know, a few months without food, 11 days without sleep. But deprive us of oxygen for a few minutes and we'll be dead real quick. And oxygen is that thing that we don't really think about because it's always there, we can always breathe. Until you're having an asthma attack or on the floor, it's not something that we really consider. But consider this, most of our oxygen comes from the water. Most of the people think, oh no, Abdul, it comes from the trees, it comes from rainforest. That's a lie. It's really a lie. I'm going to shatter a myth right now. A lot of people think that oxygen comes from the rainforest, that the rainforest is the lungs of the world. The rainforests are not the lungs of the world. Yes, the rainforests help the world, but all the oxygen produced by trees in the rainforest is eaten up or breathed by the animals in that same rainforest. There's no, you know, being lungs of the world. The rainforest has lots of oxygen. That's why they have big insects, because more oxygen equals a bigger size an insect. And where does that oxygen go? Into the animals in the rainforest. That's why they're so full of animals. More oxygen equals more life. But for the rest of the planet that doesn't live in a jungle or live with trees, I mean, even in the cities we have trees everywhere. Alhamdulillah, we have trees that help filter out bad chemicals in the airs and stuff, but even that's mostly breathed in by the insects and animals around the trees, and unless you're really close to a tree, they're not going to really benefit a huge ton from that oxygen. So the question then becomes, where does the oxygen come from? And it comes from the water. You see, water is a producer of oxygen. There's these things in the water called phytoplancton. All these kind of green oxygenating plants and creatures that live in the water, they actually produce oxygen. It is this same oxygen which enters our upper atmosphere and forms the ozone. Yes, the sky, which the Quran even says is a shield, is a protective barrier from the sun. That is produced by the things in the water, the things we can't even see. You know, you can see them when they bloom, when there's these massive changes of color and it's just suddenly the ocean becomes deep blue. But other than that, we don't really know that they're there. And why are we talking about water today? Well, you see, the ecosystem in the water in our planet's oceans are so bad that our overfishing has depleted, has massacred huge sections of the water. Our not caring about global warming. And I know people out there are, I don't believe it, I don't believe. You know what? I do not even need to prove to you global warming, because you are your own evidence for global warming. If you are more than 20 years old, you can remember a time, either when you were a child or just 10 years ago, when the world was cooler. This is not me making stuff up. I don't even need to give you all the millions, trillions of dollars worth of evidence there is. Scientific evidence. I don't need to give you any of that. Just use your own brain and remember 20 years ago when it was cold. Unless you're living in some hot country where even then it was cooler. Our weather was more stable in the past. So each of us is our own evidence of global warming. People like to deny it. You're denying your own memories. You're denying things that you know is true. But anyway, this is causing the coral reefs to eject their, it's not like some ejector seat, it's not some fancy James Bond movie, but they eject the plant substance and they become bleach. It's called bleaching. 50% of the coral reef on the planet are dead. Dead. Let me say this again. 50%, half the planet's coral reefs as of this point are dead. 10 years ago, there was a huge amount more coral reef. And they're estimating that by the turn of the century, coral reefs will be something that our grandchildren will read about in books like the Great Pyramids. And these things that help filter out the water. And our waters are becoming toxic. And it's killing these life-giving creatures. You know, overfishing is killing it because the fish help cleanse out the ocean. And this idea that we have that we're fine, we're going to survive, if global warming keeps up, the oxygen producing part of our planet will shut down. We're already seeing the effects. Infertility is at an all-time high. Oxygen is scientifically proven to affect fertility. You can't get pregnant above certain altitudes. In fact, if you take someone who lives at a regular altitude all their life and take them up a mountain, they can try as they might, they're not going to get someone pregnant. And we know something else that's alarming, which is red algae. Red algae is spreading at an alarming rate. And it poisons the water. It's making it worse. Without our oxygen producing plants in the water, we will soon run out of air to breathe. Everything on the planet will suffocate and die. And worse, the production of oxygen produces our sky, which protects us from the sun. The sun on TV is shown as your friend. The sun wants to kill you. If you go out of our atmosphere, and aside from the effects of a vacuum of space, and expose yourself to the sun, you will be irradiated. You will be burned to crisp. The sun burns 250 degrees. On the hottest part of the planet, we get like 50 degrees. That's 200-degree reduction. If the sun was unleashed onto the earth for one full day, the waters of the planet would boil. It would sweep away our atmosphere. It would destroy everything we love.